What's going on, guys? Big VP back with another Gamecase Arcades video. On this one today, we're going to be going full force, full detail on this ByVic 55-inch dedicated shooter, Time Crisis themed, running the new retro shooter Reapers, the RS3s, totally custom. One of many with the custom cuts for the pedals and the fire base. Man, I am making awesome. Let's take a look at this beast of a dedicated shooter. Time Crisis. Let's take a look. All right, guys, you know the drill. If you're not following me on all the socials, what are you waiting for? Be sure to follow me. Pull! At Vic_VP. There's a convenient Linktree link down below in the description. What are you waiting for? Go click that. It gets you to this beautiful page that shows you all my socials. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Be sure to also like, comment, and subscribe. Also hit the notifications so you can see when I go live, such as when I went live to show off this specific build here. Again, what are you waiting for? Go follow and comment down below. Let me know what you think of this ByVic 55-inch dedicated shooter. Another Time Crisis cabinet. You will see more of these because I have a lot coming up, and people love the Time Crisis artwork that I made. Enough of the whole social media plug-in stuff. Again, on this one today, I'm gonna talk your ear off. I'm always excited for every build that I do. You can always see it in the video. I get like just excited. I'm like, yes, this came from nothing. Nothing CNC cut. I assemble it all and I put the computer together and I'm doing a bunch of stuff. It's just a great feeling, great satisfaction when you see the final product standing, working, and then soon delivered to the customer. I get excited. I just get excited for everything that I do. Again, I am a one-man show. I build custom arcades, virtual pinball machines, dedicated shooters, DDR, Guitar Hero, 4-player ByVics. This is my signature design. I love everything about what I do. Again, I can't stress enough, I am a one-man show, one-man army. I don't have help. Nobody's here on a daily. I do everything myself. I just love it. I love it. I love everything that I do. Again, you're looking at right now a ByVic 55-inch dedicated shooter. So strictly Lightgun games on this. First ever retro shooter Reapers. I made a review video on these Reapers because I personally have a set of my own. A lot of people going crazy, especially for that sliding recoil. Man, it is a game changer, especially for the price. Again, on this video, I'm gonna go hard. I'm gonna tell you every little detail. This is where I usually talk a lot. You'll see other videos on this. I'm gonna do a 5-minute credit. That's kind of like a quick little teaser thing. And then I will be doing a quick overview. So if you don't wanna hear me talk, and if you don't wanna hear little details, don't watch this video, but I hope you stick around. A lot of custom stuff. I feel like every build I do, there's always something new that gets added. So again, on this one, the retro shooter Reapers, number one, again, like I made a video on it. The price of these guns, you get 2 guns, sliding recoil. You do get sensors on the TV, which I don't use. I'm gonna talk about that, don't worry. You also get 2 pedals. For the price, it is crazy. It's only like $120 more than the aim tracks. I used to have aim tracks. No more. This now is my go-to. The retro shooter Reapers are basically the standard now when it comes to light gun cabinets. The next level up would be Gun for IR. My buddy Ray, Arpeg Electronics. You've seen my past builds where I have the actual Time Crisis metal sliding recoil guns from Ray that he mods. Beautiful guns, but they do come with a hefty, hefty price tag. Again, if you think about it, the two guns, depending on when you see this video, I think he's charging for two guns. I think it's about $2,100 with the sensors. Yeah, this is I don't even know what the division is on it, but you're looking at like $340 for these. My only question, like I said before in my other video, I don't know the longevity of it. So this is my first ever customer one. I play my personal Reapers probably maybe once a week. I play like one quick game. And yeah, they're still holding up. But basically, just be sure to check out Retro Shooter Reapers or Retro Shooter. Join their Facebook group. You can see people commenting and stuff on the Facebook group. But all in all, the value of these guns and the crazy thing with this build, I'm going to talk about like the whole control panel, but I essentially didn't even need these buttons on the control panel for this build. A lot to discuss. A lot. Let's start first with the basics. Let's talk about the computer inside of this. The customer I could also briefly and quickly discuss. Let me move you because I like to move the camera so you can see the cabinet. Now, real quick for this video, because me as an arcade builder, I like to give many options and such. So you're gonna see in this video, I'm gonna launch random games. We're gonna show how the actual system works. As an arcade builder, I will basically give you two options, because in this world, in this day and age, there are drive sellers and there's arcade builders like myself. I do give customers the option, if you want just the cabinet alone, there's a cost for that. It actually will save you a lot of money and it saves me a lot of time. And there's an option where I basically do everything plug and play, just like this customer got. So real quick, mentioning about the customer himself, he did find me on Facebook Marketplace. He did comment originally on the big blue arcade cabinet that I had, that 32-inch multicade. So he originally commented on that, and then he went into the whole, he wanted a shooter cabinet. I think in all honesty, with that big blue, he wanted Lightgun games. I right now have the slider for the recoil off. We're going to talk about the guns themselves later on. But like I said, I just kind of want to at least show off games and such. So he did want, on that big blue, he did want Lightgun games. And I was like, can't do that with a Pandora box. You would need a PC-based system. He then saw my Time Crisis Facebook ad. I actually have two ads on Facebook for Time Crisis. This is a PS3 game. Why not? I have two ads for Time Crisis. The original one was the Game Room Solutions cabinet, which in all honesty, I'm going to be removing that ad. And then the ByVic 55-inch design. So he saw this, gave him the price. He said, Vic, awesome, let's do it. Deposit received, cabinets built. So basically just a background story. Now, I did keep the customer up to date. As you can see, when I do my builds, I only focus on one cabinet at a time. I can't stress that enough. I can't do 5 cabinets at once. I cannot do that. Again, this right here, it's like hard for me to talk and show off gameplay, but here I am, and I'm doing it without any cuts. Basically, this right here, what was really cool about this situation here, I actually not redid like to the extent of entirely. I sat down, refreshed my whole gun drive setup. And we're going to be talking about drive sellers later on in this video. Like I said, get ready. I'm going to be talking your ear off because as you kind of see, I kind of lose my train of thought as I'm playing and filming. So again, all in all, guy found me on Facebook Marketplace, deposit received. This right here, oh, the zombie's eating me. This right here took about, I would say, a month to complete, which is great because again, I kind of like redid my launch box setup to an extent, not like entirely, but to an extent. It's like, see, I can't multitask. I'm awful at it, but I'm not gonna cut. So again, it took me a month. We're gonna be delivering this next week. Hopefully, rail bake, I don't know. I kind of want the wheel to just kind of spin and go. This is Police Trainer 2, that's a new game. Yes, I hope I'm doing okay with the video, but I like to just show, my main thing is to show how this works. Yes, this is a complete plug and play system. This right now is going to be delivered. The customer is going to have 313 Lightgun games. We're going to be talking about the games in a second. It works. He didn't have to do any configuring. He doesn't have to download game. This is set and done. There is a fee for that. There is a cost for that, my time and such. Like I mentioned before, If you don't like the cost of that and you want to go ahead and get a drive builder involved, be my guest. You could just buy the cabinet alone. I do ship worldwide. So if you want just a cabinet, that's A-okay in my book. No harm, no foul. I'm the type of person where I don't care who you get the games from or the cabinet from, as long as you are loving the games, you're enjoying the games, playing the games, whether it's Lightgun games, trackball, 4-player arcades, I don't care. I have no offense if you go with another seller or a build, I don't care. In this day and age, me being 34, I just like that we're still enjoying the classics. We're reliving childhood, and with the newer generation, I have a 4-year-old kid, for her to play these classic games that we grew up with, that is the satisfaction that I get. So that's the details about the customer. Let's talk about the actual system itself. This is running big box, launch box, big box. Yes, no more hyperspin in my book. Now it is launch box, big box. This is a totally custom PC build inside. This is running a Ryzen 7, 32 gigs of RAM, alongside a 2 terabyte M.2 NVMe SSD. And as far as the GPU on this, we are looking at a 4060 GPU. Again, totally custom. Basically, the PC alone probably cost me around, I would say about $1,300 was the cost of the PC. If I hold down the 5 button here, we're gonna be exiting out, and we are back to big box. Look at that, again, doing this live on camera. Again, I've been doing this for several years now, 13 years. If you watch my journey, I've had 3 system options: Pandora box, Raspberry Pi, PC. Now, I'm simply at either a Pandora box or a PC-based system. Vic, well, I'll be honest, Raspberry Pi is bleh. I've been doing this for so long. Usually my go-to now, if customers request details on a build, the first thing I ask them, I say, hey, what type of games do you want to play? Normally they do hit me with shooters. Normally they want NFL Blitz. They want NBA Jam. That info right now, in this day and age, automatically results to you needing a PC-based system. Vic, no, you don't. You can use Battisara. I am not doing that. Sorry, no. If you want to save a couple $100, then you go that route. I don't want to deal with any of that. I am either now Pandora box or full-fledged PC-based, because I have customers that start out with just, hey, I just want arcade and I want, Sega Dreamcast. Then they get into like, hey, Vic, you just posted Terminator Salvation. How do I get that? And then I go, your Battisara can't do that. Vic, yes, it can. I don't. PC-based system. That is what I'm getting at. So again, launch box, big box. Right now, looking at 313 true Lightgun games. That's including a couple of duplicates. We're going to talk about that. I did talk about this in a live stream that I did of this cabinet. Not including, I think it's 22 to 30 Wii games, and not including 122 Flash games. The way I advertise this is that you're looking at 300 Lightgun games. We're gonna get into the realm later on, talking about drive sellers and all that, but again, let's focus on this. So that right there is the PC. Inside of this, I could show you some B-roll, or I'm gonna take you through the rear and stuff. Let's talk about now the actual cabinet design. Like I mentioned earlier, every time I do a build, it's like something gets added that I've never done before. In this instance here, we have basically 2 things that got added. Again, off the bat, number 1, you're looking at a ByVic dedicated shooter. When I say 55-inch, ByVic 55-inch, I'm talking about the TV screen on this. This right here is a TCL, a standard TV, current gen TV though. So I did get this like 2 weeks ago. It's not like I had this, it's not a 8-year-old TV. I can't stress that enough. If I have a customer that wants just the cabinet alone, like I have somebody coming up, they're gonna be putting a 65 curved TV. I said, just be sure, I don't know, I haven't really seen newer curved TVs being kind of advertised. I just said, make sure it's like, not light, but you don't wanna put like a 1980 plasma on this because it's heavy. I've been doing several ByVic cabinets. I aim for current gen TVs. This 55-inch TV, I am able to pick up and mount on my own. If you can't do that, then the TV I don't suggest putting the TV on a ByVic. So keep that in mind. Again, when I say 55-inch, that is the screen on this. You could technically go bigger, but I think this is like perfect. That is like the sweet spot, especially when you see current gen arcade games at Dave & Buster's and stuff. Bigger screens is the thing. Again, ByVic, this is my own personal design here. On this build, my first ever retro shooter Reaper build, the Reapers have 3 things that are add-ons. You do have pedals. There's 2 pedals. So at the base here, I actually made a little compartment and cutout not only for one pedal, but also for the second. Nice, convenient. Vic, whoa, how did you think of that? Well, like I mentioned before, I have Reapers. I have these exact guns, I have these exact pedals, but they're on my House of Rock cabinet. I don't have those compartments on my cabinet. So my pedals are like on the side of the cabinet on the floor. That was the first thing I thought of. Second thing coming up, if you see my past Time Crisis ByVic cabinets, the dedicated shooters, usually running gun for IR, I have a USB somewhere here so you could plug in the guns. Now, Retro Shooter includes the Firebase, so I did have another cutout here for the Firebase. Beautiful. Again, awesome stuff. So if you wanted to put the pedals in, you could just simply go here, but I usually like to pull out the pedal, the Firebase a little bit and plug in. The way I made this, I am proud of myself. Give myself a little pat on the back, because as you can see, I could pull these. The Firebase doesn't come out. That's because it's like the ledge, there's like a base where it's sitting and then a ledge that's keeping it in place. Genius, right? It's like, whoa, what? I know. I think of everything. I know. The last add-on on this, shout out to the customer coming up. We're going to be doing a very cool ByVic 2-player. We were talking about volume control. On my past ByVic, I had an amp here that you would be able to volume control. It had too many knobs though. It had bass, treble, volume, left, right. It was a standard amp. It was a great amp. It was just like too many knobs. This customer, potential customer coming up, we went into looking for a flush mount, and that's where we have this now. So I do have one single volume knob right on the control deck. Again, awesome add-ons as always. I feel like every cabinet I do, it always improves. Now, in all honesty, I'll be brutally honest. I have to think of an idea for the wire management of these guns. These guns have long wires. I was gonna put another hole like in the kick plate and you could kind of stuff the wires in. My only fear is like, I don't know, it might like strip this cable. So I didn't want to do that. I might come up with a solution maybe on the side. I don't like adding like hooks on the side. You know, doing something like that, it's not really attractive. But looking at like, for example, my personal House of Rock, even this cabinet here, like when I started the video, customers and myself, I just feel like they're gonna just tuck the wire to the side. They're gonna most likely do that. So yes, I know. Somebody wrote it in the Retro Shooter Facebook group, like, whoa, the wires are on the floor. I'm like, you have the same guns. I'm pretty sure they're on the floor too. It's more about like trying to keep it neat. What can you do to keep it neat? So that is probably the next thing I have to think of. But it's not awful. As you can see, look at that. I went from like wrapping it up here, which looked ugly as hell, to like that. And normally customers have like other cabinets to the left and to the right, or it's against the wall. This is probably your best bet for now until I figure out a solution. I don't want to put like, you know, I was going to do like a hook. Like you get like a paper, not a paper towel hook, but you get something on Amazon where it's like the forks and you could wrap. I'm like, that's a cool idea, but my fear is like somebody's gonna pull this gun, and then like the wires could, I always think that way. But yes, that right there is the custom cuts to it. Now it's funny, like I mentioned before, this is on the Retro Shooter Facebook group. Somebody goes, wow, that cabinet looks top heavy. No, don't worry. You can move this thing around, it's on wheels. It ain't tipping, don't worry. I've done many practice builds, no need to worry about that. But I understand your concern. As you can see, again, it's on wheels, LEDs throughout. So if you turn the lights off, the thing glows. I have the whole LEDs in the rear and such. Might as well just show you what it looks like with the lights off. So you can see it in the dark. I hope you can see it. I can't really see the screen from here, but yes, LEDs throughout, so you got underglow on the bottom, and you also have the glow in the rear. I can't even tell if you could see me, but it is what it is. But what's pretty cool with the whole LEDs, I have LEDs where the pedals are. So it's illuminated right here, so it looks pretty cool in the dark. If you want to pull out your pedals, you have lighting everywhere. Yes, I like my LEDs. I dubbed myself the LED king. So you got to have LEDs, right? So you guys into handheld mode. We'll take a look at the cabinet real quick because I want to show off the rear. But as you can see, the cabinet design, you got a TV mount, very standard TV mount. Easy stuff. Simple. Let's take a look at the rear of the cabinet. So you can kind of see I have more LEDs, obviously LEDs throughout the rear. We have a nice convenient shelf up top. So the customer could put the remote here. We could put the keyboard here. I got this little retro shooter lanyard there. Take a look at the base of the cabinet. Again, a full-size PC. No mini PCs on these. I don't have faith in those. Anytime I do a PC-based system, there's always airflow. So I have air putting air into the cabinet. So airflow is in. Heat rises, so I have a hole on that shelf. Also figure like the gun holsters are open holes. So air comes in. As far as audio on this, Z3 or Z355 or the Z533, forgot which combo it is. 120 watts. Again, comes standard and all that. I decase the speakers. We put them right against the wall there. Even though we have the rotary knob volume there, you still need an amp for volume. So that's where this comes standard with it and such. It even has a bass controller on it. You can see the PC on this. Again, the custom built PC, Ryzen 7 7000 series. There we go. Awesome. PC stuff, it's all in there. And again, like I mentioned before, I have a compartment where the pedals, they can't go into the cabinet. There's like a threshold there, but you can see it there. You can see the Firebase and such. Awesome stuff. We have an iPack. Yes, wow, Vic, you're using iPack. I do have an iPack 2 running on this for the controls. We're going to talk about that in a second. Gun holsters. My buddy Ray Arpeg Electronics made me 2 gun holsters. You can see there, these gun holsters, the gun, there's no like base, so the lenses on those don't scratch up at all. So got 2 gun holsters and such. LED arcade buttons also in the rear. We have a designated PC power button, so you can turn on and off the PC. You don't have to do that though. I have it set where the computer turns on once you give it power and such. So I'll show you a whole boot sequence and all that. So we're gonna talk about the control panel here. It's essentially gonna segue into the retro shooter Reapers because in all honesty, with these Reapers, I technically don't need any buttons on this control panel because the retro shooter Reaper does it all. Very crazy. So essentially I don't like iPacks. If you know me for years, I always say I despise iPacks. I can't stand them. I needed to use it though for this, mostly because of 5 games. What are you talking about, Vic? Normally on my arcade builds, I use Joy to Key. And then I use a regular like SJ add JX encoder, or I'll use a Zinmo. To my discovery though, with there's 5 games, I believe it's the Sega Model 2 series, like Jurassic World or Jurassic Park and LA Machines, they ignore Joy to Key. Normally I have it set where a button, if I long press a button in Joy to Key, it'll activate escape. It doesn't work that way with Sega Model 2. Every other game works fine. Technoparrot I could exit with Joy to Key and stuff, but those 5 games, you can't. So I do need a keyboard encoder. That is where the iPack comes in. And, you know, in all honesty, it's funny if I could basically say to you, if you don't want buttons, you don't have to have buttons. But in case that the customer ever wants to change, let's say to like Gunfire R, it's always good to have buttons because also, you know, somebody that doesn't know the cabinet, they could basically see like, oh, there's a start button, there's a coin button, there's an up and down, I can navigate here. This now segues into the actual light gun itself. As you can see, I could actually navigate, enter a game, exit a game entirely with the retro shooter Reaper light gun. I think that's wild. I think it's crazy. You don't really save money per se. As you can see, like I'm gonna right now start. I'm not even touching the deck. I'm starting this game with the gun in my hand. You're not gonna save much money though. You know, the iPad cost me like, I think it was like $40 shipped. So, you know, you're not gonna save much. I could put my coins in, I could start the game, could raise up my volume with a Scotia. We're gonna break out the pedals, so don't worry. Again, right now, I could hold down button 5 or coin, and it's gonna exit. Isn't that like nuts? Isn't that crazy? Again, you don't even need the control panel. Everything is on the Lightgun. So this is really cool because, for example, Sega Model 2, Sega Model 3, when I had House of the Dead, regular House of the Dead 1, you needed to press 5 for the coin and press 1 to start. You couldn't start the game with the trigger. That's where people would come up here and go, okay, I'm gonna hit this button, I'm gonna hit the coin, I'm gonna hit start. My personal build downstairs, the House of Rock, when I had my my brother-in-law, he's not brother-in-law yet, he came over and we were playing House of the Dead, and you know, he's out of money. Now he's gotta go up to the cabinet, press the coin button. Again, that's how like really the real arcade would be, but it just goes so cool that it's all here. So I really never have to break focus or lose my spot. I could just push everything here. Again, the Retro Shooter Reaper's game changer. I thought I was never going to use the thumbstick on this. Man, was I wrong, because introducing this thumbstick, I now added a couple of games that I wouldn't add if I had, for example, a Gunfire IR. For example, I'm going to launch this right here. This is Operation Wolf Returns First Mission. This is a new PC game. It's not designed for light guns. It's not like a raw input type of game. Again, we're shooting it live, as you can see how it runs and all that. This game requires 5 buttons because there's like reload, change weapon. This game actually has it where you hide. So I utilize the thumbstick, which is this, it needs the space button. In this game, it's space. To hide, it's space. And you're gonna see probably to skip the cutscene, it is space. But I have space mapped out to the thumbstick. Show some Operation Wolf, why not? So you can see here, see? I have to hold up, I have it set to up for that. Look at that. So let's get a quick thing here. What I'm basically like exaggerating is that if I didn't have this thumbstick, this game I would not add if you don't have 5 buttons. I have 3 buttons right here, trigger, the middle mouse, and the right mouse. I need 2 more buttons. My buddy Project Canada, his Gunfire IRs, he only has 3 buttons, the trigger and the 2 buttons. That is it. Bump up the volume on this. We'll get some quick gameplay. Why not? Yes, we are trying to flee. Can you see me? You can see the gun at least. That's fine. Light him up. Ah, it's slow motion. Reload. So the butt of the gun is reload. So right here, uncover, I have to up. Look at that. All on the gun. What a thing of beauty. Reload, reload. Ooh, shot him right in the face. I have right now I'm changing the weapon. That's a middle mouse. So that's pretty cool. Reload, reload, Rick. Yeah. Awesome. Uncover. Look at that. All because of the Reaper. Escape out. This is now actually Launchbox right here. It was a nice little segue. See that? Oof, man. Love it. Love it that I'm shooting this and showing you live how stuff works. Again, the Retro Shooter Reapers are now my go-to. That is the standard. If you wanted Gunfire, it will be a more expensive build, but I love these guns. The Retro Shooter Reapers, awesome stuff. Now, real quick to comment, because we're talking about the Reapers. Vic, the sensors. What's going on with the sensors of the TV? Where are the sensors? I am using Gun4IR sensors. Yes, Ray Arpeg Electronics. I already spoke to him. I said, hey, dude, you should make a bundle like I bought from you. 2 holsters and the sensors. So yes, there are sensors on this right here, right on the corners. These are the actual Gun4IR sensors connected to the USB on the TV. So that's how they get their power and stuff. But man, clean. Retro Shooter, the only complaint I have is your sensors. That is it. It's too big, too bulky. We need it clean. And yeah, think it looks awesome. So we talked about the cabinet, we talked about the sound, we talked about the PC inside of this thing. Let's talk about games. Let's talk about the game count, because everybody in this day and age right now, they're looking at the games. Vic, how many games do you have? Like I mentioned before, 313 games. That's including duplicates. Vic, what does that mean? Why do you have duplicates? What does that mean? I originally was not a fan of having duplicates, but after you experience a duplicate, it's like, ooh, this is actually a little bit different. For example, we have Time Crisis. I have Time Crisis 1. I'm gonna navigate while I talk. It's gonna be a little difficult, but I'm gonna navigate while I talk because I could do it. So I have Time Crisis 1. This is the arcade game. This is the one I launched on camera, arcade. Then we have Time Crisis 1, but this is the PlayStation 1 version. Vic, what's the difference? In all honesty, this version here has an additional mode, which is like time attack. But now that I'm thinking about it, I think also the arcade version has a time attack. So some games have different modes, or it's arcade versus console. For example, the real good example to say is the House of the Dead. House of the Dead 1 arcade, it's simple. You just put coins in and you start. Whereas House of the Dead 1, there's like another version, or House of the Dead 2, it gives you like time attack and all that. So that, in that instance, it's cool to have a duplicate because it does change the game. Another instance though, and I'm gonna show this off because I'm excited. Another instance is, for example, we have Time Crisis 4. Vic, you have 2 Time Crisis 4s. Why? One Time Crisis 4, this right here is PS3 emulation, so RC PS3. One Time Crisis 4 launches in 1-player mode. That's the entire screen, 1 gun. The other version, as you can see in the preview, is 2-player. It's a 2-player mod. You can see there the screen is split. So in that instance, you need a duplicate. Another instance, for example, which I'm really excited to show you, I'm going to show you right now, is Time Crisis 5. I have 2 Time Crisis 5s. Why, Vic? One is going to utilize dual pedals. Again, with the Reapers, you have 2 pedals. Might as well use them because this game actually is dual pedals, right? I have, though, another version where you're going to see I'm going to do it live on camera. Instead of me doing the process of taking the pedals out and then now I got to plug it in, and instead of you wasting it takes 1 minute. It's not that big of a deal. Instead of you doing that, you have the option of a no pedal version. I did that. That was me. I'm going to take credit of that. That's why I have 2 different Time Crisis 5s. We can start the clock right now. Right now, because this is an actual customer's build and the garage is a tad bit dirty, I also do say that when I'm building your cabinet, I am using your guns. These are your actual guns that I am using. I'm going to do this live on camera. I'm hoping you can see it. We're going to plug in pedal 1. We're going to plug in pedal 2. And I'm going to grab my nice little convenient clear wrap. And I'm going to wrap this customer's pedals because I don't want to get them dirty. We're going to keep it all clean. 2 pedals are in. Awesome stuff. As I was doing that, the game kind of left the screen, so we're going to bring it back. You essentially could launch the game and then put the pedals in. I just like to not do it that way. This is the dual pedal mod. Pressing start on that while this is running. I'm going to grab the clear. Again, doing this in 1 take. That is what people like to see. That is me as a customer. I would like to see. Vic, how does your system work? I'm going to put this nice little clear. Again, I have wood chips on the floor and I don't want to mess up this customer's pedals. So nice and neat. I'm Vic VP. I like to keep things nice and neat. And as that was going, this game is launching and loading. See that? Awesome. Little tidbit, if you're looking at this. I have running two different versions of Technoparrot to get this to work. As you can see right now, step on pedal to start. Don't mind if I do. I hope you can see the pedal. You can't even see it. Let me move you back. What? So the pedals are mapped to the right. So that's also the butt, the stock of the gun. So I could bring this down. We're doing this live. I'm not going to do any cuts. Don't care. Bam, 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 bam. Good, you can see both. Wow, my fan. Awesome, here we go. I could essentially even bring the guns back a little bit, but no, we're okay. So, player 1 is left pedal, player 2 is right pedal. Again, Technoparrot is how I'm able to do this. We could skip this and all that. Let's get ready. Very exciting stuff. This is like when I discovered this, it's like, yes, I will be the only one. Look at that. Let's go. Put my slider on. Action. Here we go. So left, as you can see, and right. Boom. Again, no hidden magic, no secret buttons on the gun. It is dual pedal. This is Time Crisis 5. That is how you do it right there. Awesome stuff. Look at that. Looks great. Again, utilizing Techno Parrot. Look at that. Also, quick note, I'm right now about 4 feet from the screen. Some people like to know that. I could even go back more, but you can see my crosshair is great. I do have the fisheye lens on this. It's set to start from the right cover, but I didn't do that. We can move over. Go, 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 go. Take them out, take them out. Quick, reload and switch. Beautiful. Isn't that insane? Now, live on camera, we're gonna bring in the no pedal mod. Again, it's something that it's not needed. It's a little bougie, but it works out because let's say, for example, you have a party. You don't want people like running across. People now are commenting like, wow, Vic, like the wires for your guns. Now look at what happens when we add pedals. We have more wires on the floor. You can't really avoid it. Now, for this version here with the no pedal mod, I basically have the thumbstick mapped out to the left and the right pedal. So I originally played it like that. And I'm like, wow, this is actually cool. Like I don't have to do the dance. Which again, the arcade game is you're supposed to do the dance, but it's just so cool. Like I feel like a badass when I'm holding the gun down and I'll go like left and right. It's a different feeling. It's cool. So as you can see, everything right now, I'm using the gun, we're skipping, that's the middle mouse, that's basically to change the weapon. So again, like this is how I would play it. You can see me. And then we go up. Bring it down, and then we go up. So no, it's not the gun being recognized as up and down, it's me going left and right on the thumbstick. Again, something that I never thought I would use. I was like, this thumbstick is like, it's gonna be a waste of my time. What's the point? No. It is actually a thing of beauty. Again, I treat it like that. I feel like I'm actually in the game and we're running and I got like that stance going on. That's how I play. Yeah, that's how I have fun. How do you have fun? Go, 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 go. Like, get the couch. Get to the couch. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Go, go. Go, bring it back. No, reload. Oh, bring it. Oh, it's amazing. It's a thing of beauty. And again, I could do everything from the gun. Long press on 5, it's gonna exit, and it brings me back. Beautiful. So again, if you kind of subtract the duplicates, I would probably say I'm at like 290 games. The reason I'm bringing this stuff up is because there are drive sellers, there are other builders that are claiming that they have like, I don't know, 600, 700 games. I think I saw somebody that posted that they have like, I think it's like 4 terabytes. I'm like, that is insane. That makes absolutely no sense on why you have that many games. This is where, like I was mentioning before, I could give you the option where you could just buy the cabinet itself. I'm A-okay with doing that. It will save a lot of time and money. This way, you, the customer, can experience and deal with the PC side, and you buy that drive. You like I said, the idea is I can either build you a complete setup, testing, working, I know it works, I know the ins and outs, or you go ahead and get that drive. Now, I did have a couple of customers that reached out to me and they said, hey, Vic, man, I'm gonna buy this drive, but can I send it to you and you like just make sure it works? I'm not doing that. No offense, I'm not doing that. I used to do that when I started this business and I'll never do that shit again. Again, no disrespect, it's just no. Because you're getting sold that idea and that illusion that it's plug and play. If I took that drive, right? I should be paying attention. If I took that drive and let's say I worked on it or I like was looking at it and I tell you, hey, there's issues with it. That drive seller could say, well, Vic touched it. So like it worked before. And I don't know. Nope. And you know why I think that? It's because I've experienced that. And I will never do it ever again. I just kind of find it, it's just, to me, like, when somebody says 600 games, it's like, and the thing is, like, somebody right now, like, you could be watching this, you could say, Vic, that guy has 600, you have 300. Are you not current? Are you not up to date? Do you not look? I'm like, oh no. Basically, I didn't get a hold of it. Some people messaged me. Some people told me that some of these people have like 700 flash games. And I'm like, that's insane. I added 122 flash games on this build. I don't include that though in my 300 games. Because these flash games, yes, granted, some of them are like shooters and some of them are like okay. They're like 2-minute games. And it's like, why have this? Flash games are like when you had like E-Bombs World and like Mini Clip. Like it wasn't meant to last and it wasn't designed for like a light gun, but then it just reads the mouse. Another thing that some people showed me was like, hey, there's like, I found it on Emuline. Somebody did a Santa's little gift that had 80 Android games. I downloaded this thing. It was like 18 gigs. I downloaded it and I launched like 5 games. And then to my surprise, they didn't work like a light gun. I had to actually drag the mouse. That's what it was. I had to like hold down and drag to shoot. No, I don't deal with that. That's my little quick rant. This right here is something that like I would have in my house. I don't need 1,000 light gun games and to discover that half of those games, it's not like House of Dead. It's not like Time Crisis. It's just like, target practice. Now, granted, yes, some people will like that. That's okay. But for me, I think of my personal instance, I don't want that. Like, this is beautiful the way I have it set up. Not to just talk about my product, but yes, in the end, if you want just a cabinet, you can message me. Last quick note to talk. If you do buy a cabinet from me and it's going to be shipped out, if I am shipping this out, if the freight company is going to come and take this, I do not include the TV anymore. The price will be adjusted, obviously. I don't include the TV because I had 2 TVs damaged in transit. I get regular basic TVs. This TV came from BJ's. I think after tax, it cost me like $300. We deduct $300. I can tell you the exact TV model here and you buy it on your end. Basically, long story short, I had 2 TVs damaged in transit. Vic, what do you do now? Like, I gave the customer $300 and I said, hey, here's the TV. Like, you could dispose of the broken one. I'm not gonna need it back. Don't ship it back to me. It's a waste of money and time. Here's your money back. Go buy a TV. That's where I'm basically saying, yes, if I'm gonna ship these cabinets out, whether it's an arcade cabinet, dedicated shooter, it's just way easier if you just get the TV on your own and I will tell you the model. If you want OLED, you do that on your own dime and at your own time. Again, the way my cabinet design is, it's a TV mount. It's a regular TV mount. So you could adjust the height and all that. You could do it on your end. You don't need to disassemble the cabinet. That's why I steer clear of the enclosed cabinets now. I am gun-ho on my ByVic design. So yes, there you go. We'll do a little bit more gameplay, but some people do like to see, Vic, how does this work? How do you power it on and such? So if you're done playing, I have a very convenient button in the rear that shuts down the PC. What's great with Launchbox Big Box, you could actually exit and like escape back and have the option to shut down. I'm gonna right now show you the shutdown process. You could essentially right now unplug the cabinet. I like to kind of at least turn off the TV. That's just something that I do. I don't know, I feel like it's a longevity thing for the TV. As you can see, the TV has a convenient button. It's a regular TV that you buy at your house. I right now can unplug the cabinet, boom. I now offer basically every cabinet that goes out, I will give you a smart switch. You could plug it in, connect it to your Wi-Fi, do like what I do on my cabinets and go on your phone and power it on. I don't have the smart switch connected right now, but we're actually gonna do a live boot. What happens, Vic? You go on the app and you boop, you turn on the power, just like so. With these TVs, because it's not set to, what is it called? Like display mode. You do have to just power on the TV. There's a button here, TCL. It now is gonna boot. You don't have to do anything. We're not gonna launch anything. Again, I mentioned before in my live stream, the way I set this up, even when I was doing Hyperspin, I have it set up as a task schedule. Vic, you do big box. You don't need to do that anymore. You could have it boot right into it. I have my opinions on that. I right now am gonna let the computer boot like it normally would. Easy. And I have it set to a task schedule of 30 seconds. Nice little background. It says, please wait, loading. You're going to see the big box logo. It'll probably be the longest 30 seconds of your life, but it will launch. Don't worry. Again, I like this setup here because in my eyes, in my opinion, when you start a computer, there's like stuff in the background that's like loading via like Windows and stuff. So just let it do its thing. Again, no cuts on this. You can see the big box logo there, and you're going to be gaming. You essentially could get this to go faster if you do that whole like PowerShell boot thing. I don't want to deal with it only because like I have fears of like Windows. There's like an update in the background, and it's like, what happened, Vic? This is how I have my cabinet set up. If you want to mess around and play around with it, go ahead. But as you can see right now, we are in. And we could start gaming. Again, that 2 terabyte M.2 NVMe, speed. And again, it's a current gen PC. If you are getting these cabinets from somebody else, they're using current gen PCs and they are not using M.2 NVMe SSDs, what are you paying for? What are you paying for? Don't do standard SSD. I have a standard SSD in my house of rock. It's an SSD, so it still boots fast, but nothing compared to like an M.2. And not to mention the price of an M.2 versus an SSD, granted I'm doing 2 terabyte NVMe, it's like, I don't know, not a couple of bucks, it's probably like maybe 60, 80 bucks more, but like, we're in, we're gaming. So going real quick now, we're talking about the PCs. I understand that there are people that are doing mini PCs. I have my personal opinions on that. I don't like them. Some mini PCs I've seen go for like 600. At that price point, honestly, and you might, I mean, I haven't done it in a while, but like at that price point, Dell Optiplex, 1650. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna do a mini PC at that price. Again, like I mentioned before, the PC alone on this was about $1,300. So I get customers, somebody, like I said, somebody messaged me from the Retro Shooter group, and like, whoa, I want that, how much? I sent them the price and they're like, whoa, okay, I will let you know when I'm ready. It's okay, I get it, it is A-okay. I'm a firm believer that specs are very important. It's a big deal. That is where like the money and the pricing comes in. I would love to offer an option where it's like, hey, you know what? If you think it's expensive, you know, we could go Dell Optiplex, but it's like the future proof of that is like non-existent. This right here, this is like set for like the next 10 years. And again, right now I put 2 terabytes. My gun game files alone with Windows, keep that in mind, with the Windows stuff, it took up 1.25 terabytes. So I have right now about 580 gigs open. So as far as updates and newer games, the space is there. Vic, you're mentioning about updates. How do you do updates? I personally, you go to my Discord, you join my Discord, all my customers, I already like invited and added this customer here. I basically post the links and you download it. If you need me to like TeamViewer in, or I should say AnyDesk in, I'll be more than happy to do that, but I try not to do that because yes, I will say it, I am the type of person that time is money. And I don't want to say I charge for that. It's more about, as long as you download the game, it'll take me like 10 minutes to put the game in, not even. I've been helping a couple of people that they have other people's builds. And, you know, number one, they're not giving them the files or they're taking too long to update. And I TeamViewer in and I discovered that this guy didn't even download the game. And now it's like you're on Wi-Fi, I'm connected, I'm remoted in, and now you have to download like an 8 gig game. That right there is like a half hour of my life wasted. So I say to people, like, download the game first. I will be more than happy to TeamViewer in, AnyDesk in, and help you. So yes, I don't do a server. I don't do server based and you could connect in. And no, I don't do that. Stay up to date on my Discord. And I basically give you the plug and play setup. Launchbox big box move was a big deal to me because I've always heard people saying it's easy. You could add games easily. And honestly, yeah. But if you didn't make the big box launch box, you don't really know the steps. So it's A-okay. I'd be more than happy to show off and explain to you how to do it. Usually once you see how like 5 games get added, you can do it on your own. Easy. It's like I want to play more. I just like to show off the exit, the loading, the saving, how the system works. This is what I like to show off, and I make it a big deal now, especially now to kind of show that off. But yes, awesome. I could ramble all day about this cabinet, but it is a thing of beauty. I'm very excited to deliver this cabinet to the customer. People love this time crisis. Oh, real quick, I forgot to talk about the artwork on this. Artwork, I could make it quick. We could do a quick timestamp on this. Artwork, people go crazy for my time crisis artwork. And I'm gonna make a quick statement, and I've said it years ago, somebody in the overseas, and you know what? They don't even build cabinets anymore because they stuck to V-pins. That's A-okay. They got a grip mate. People love it. I think it's great. I think it's awesome. Now, again, with this cabinet here, we are running the Retro Shooter Reapers. I originally made the kick plate with how I normally have it. It's Time Crisis 1 to 5. All the Time Crisis, not all of them because you're missing Project Titan, Raising Storm. Time Crisis 1 to 5. Now, with this pedal cutout, Time Crisis 5 got like destroyed. Like it got, you wouldn't be able to see it. So I removed it. I sent it to the customer, and the customer was like, oh, cool, but like, maybe if you could just put Time Crisis big. And I did that. And I'm the type, if you want artwork, I do the artwork. I sent him an image of Time Crisis right in the middle big. And then I said to myself, I was like, ooh, I like how this looks. Let me take it up a little bit further and let me add the 2 characters, which I believe is really Time Crisis 2, those characters. And customer said, yeah, that is it. Want it. I think that kick plate looks awesome. And it's great, like I said, along with the whole cutouts and all that. I think it's awesome. I love it. People go crazy for it. I have several of these lined up. And ironically, everybody wants Time Crisis. I wouldn't mind doing like a House of the Dead, but people like the Time Crisis. It's very cool. It's awesome. I'm just happy that people are enjoying and liking the artwork. But yes, this whole thing is pretty cool with the who do you target first when time is your biggest enemy. I have that right there, and you could essentially raise and lower the screen, if you like, sorry. I have a guy coming up. He wants a dedicated shooter, but he's going to put it next to his arcade cabinet. He's like, I need like a 34-inch clearance here. I was like, no worries. It's on a regular TV mount, so you could raise it, lower it if you like. And yeah, that one's probably going to come up in a few, not weeks, maybe a month or 2, because I have work to do. I have customers lined up and stuff. But yeah, beautiful. I can't get enough of it. Not redoing. I did a couple of things as far as going back into the system now. I had my gun files, my Lightgun files, but then I took the time now and I updated a couple of things. For example, Hopseuss Singe, which is basically like American Laser games. A couple of new games got added and a couple of new games got like refreshed. For example, Mad Dog McGree now has 2-player mod on it. Very cool. I was like, what? I never really grow up with Mad Dog McGree, but there is a 2-player mod to it where you could basically play with somebody else. As you can see how it starts, you basically press 1 and then you pull the trigger and then you take your gun 2, which is technically button 2. You press start on the gun and left mouse and now you're good. So we can insert coins and we have now 2 players. Like, look at this. Isn't this crazy? Look, I got 2 crosshairs. Try another, try another, try another. So yes, again, that took me about, I would say like a week, maybe a week or 2 just to like download some new games. Again, going back to this American Laser, I added like this Marbella Vice. I added Platoon. I added a game, this one right here, very cool if you see my live stream, Fast Draw. it's like you actually like you basically could hold the foot pedal and you pull. Very cool. Other ones, my buddy Brad D, he was telling me about Captain Power. The whole Captain Power series got added and stuff. Other stuff that got added, for example, RCPS3 now has 2-player mode. I downloaded it. I was under the assumption that it was an easy thing to set up. After you play it a couple of times, you notice that you get errors. So I fixed that. Basically, each game needed its own RCPS3 to alleviate that stress. But got that. I did a couple of moves. For example, I used to have Lethal Enforcers 3 standalone. Now, I have Lethal Enforcers 3 running on Technoparrot, and I do have it as a duplicate. What do you mean, Vic? Lethal Enforcers 3 actually has 2 options where you could do 1-player or 2-player split screen. Another example of a duplicate that is needed. Awesome. I love it. I'm just more excited. I'm more loving showing this as I'm shooting this. I'm just very excited to see, as you can see, loading, exiting. We're not really running into any issues at all. Am I going to say it's perfect? No, but it's awesome so far. Love it. I'll be honest, when I first was doing, the way I test all my games. I test all my machines, at least for like a week. And originally when I first had this, I was shooting the Arcade 1-Up video, and there was an instance where Launchbox froze, or I should say Big Box. And then I quickly realized that I was on the wrong like video reader. I was using VLC, and I should have been using Windows Media Player. Yeah, awesome. Like, this is just a thing of beauty. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love every bit of what I do. It's just amazing. This is a long clip right here, but yes, no cuts. Now, I know I talk a lot. We're going to end this pretty soon so I don't bore you guys to death. I'm just going to go back real quick, and I'm going to just show off these Flash games. So again, I'm doing everything on the gun itself. You can see here, Flash games. I don't have any video preview because I'm not going to record 122 videos on this. But it basically launches this wall of logos. I have no interest in these. Why do I have it on the build? Well, I don't know. We'll do this carnival shooter. Why do you have this on your build, Vic? Because, like I said before, people look at the game count. So let's add 122 games. Now, the only big thing to keep in mind is that these games, though, are not on the main wheel. What is this? I guess we got to shoot the ducks. Oh. I wasn't supposed to shoot that. Oh, I won. I won, guys and gals. Sea creatures. Oh. Like, I don't know. I'm not supposed to shoot the ones with the flags, obviously. So, done. Did you have fun? Did we have fun doing that? I don't know. Like I said, luckily, thank God, when I make my drives, those Flash games are not in this main wheel. So again, on the gun, if you hold down the second button, which is your coin button, for 5 seconds, it escapes. So I have here the Lightgun games. This is all the Lightgun games minus Flash games and minus the Wii games. So yes, you will not see 122 Flash games on this wheel. This is like the main wheel. Now, as far as like on my end, what's like the next thing that we're going to be doing, Vic? I'm going to be looking into this whole the hook of the Reaper, which is basically like MAME hooker for Reapers, where, you know, depending on the game you play, the sliding recoil will work and such. My only fear with this whole hook of the Reaper thing is if I want to play at night and I want to turn off the switch, I believe it ignores that. I could be wrong, but that's what I believe. So you would have to like disconnect the power right here. It's right here though. It's not that big of a deal, but yeah. I don't know. That's like the next thing I could do. But this customer, if I do wind up doing that, I could always team viewer in, or I should say AnyDesk in. Look at this. Like I said, Lethal Enforcers 3, I have 2 versions. We have one version, which is 1-player. So 1 full screen. And then Lethal Enforcers 3 2-player mod, as you can see, split screen. I feel like I mentioned that before, but yes, I love everything about it. But yes, there you guys have it. I feel like I discussed everything. We launched games live on camera. We did barely any cuts. I have to always move the camera around so it doesn't have the same camera angle. But yes, another VicVP Gamecase Arcades dedicated shooter, the ByVic 55-inch Time Crisis cab going out. I'm going to be delivering this personally. It's going out to Jersey. I am just ecstatic. You have no idea, especially when I started this video. I just love to show and I love to talk and I love to just show off my work, my amazingness. VicVP Gamecase Arcades, as I stand proudly next to this machine. Sheesh.